Hello friends, so this video is a follow-up to what happened after the people marched, and this is from the Workers' Vanguard, and it's called Thousands Mobilized to Stop Nazis in Chicago. And it's so interesting because that's what's going on today. It is currently 43 years after this happened. Alright, June 7th, labor, blacks, Jews, gays respond to Spartastic campaign. Sunday, June 27th, here was a big victory for opponents of fascist terror throughout the country. It was the largest militant anti-Nazi protest in the area in decades, with more than 3,000 participating, and the presence of protesters from a broad cross-section of the Chicago population in a demonstration led by socialists is a landmark in anti-fascist actions nationally. As Ronald Reagan's killer cutbacks and the Klan/Nazis' guns target black and working people, it is clear that there is no future for the oppressed and exploited in this rotting system. The class struggle strategy of the Spartacist League for Labor/Black Mobilization to Stop Racist Terror shows how to fight back and win. June 27th proved it can be done. They came from the steel mills of East Chicago and the Harvester plant in Melrose Park, from heavily gay Newtown and the largely Jewish suburb of Evanston. There were even East European Catholics from North Side neighborhoods, but most important, in this most segregated city in the U.S., with the meanest white suburbs in the country, they came from the giant South Side ghetto on Sunday to stop the Nazis and defend themselves. Wherever the Nazis march, that means whites only, they said. And wherever the fascists are stopped, it means hope for the future of black people and all the oppressed. On June 27th, a breach was made in the wall of fear engendered by the racist front that stretches from Nazis to the White House. When the gang of Nazi stormtroopers drove a rented truck up to the edge of Lincoln Park Sunday afternoon, they found the site where they planned to stage a provocation against the Gay Pride Day march, already occupied by several thousand anti-Nazi demonstrators who turned out in response to determined organizing by the SL-initiated June 27th Committee Against Nazis. As the fascists were spotted, the crowd surged forward, chanting, "No Hitlers in Chicago, stop the Nazis now." Unable to enter the park, the 24 Hitlerites in brown and black uniforms clustered behind a chain link fence protected by hundreds of Chicago cops, including a line of mounted Cossacks. The whole rally, podium, sound system, and all charged up to the front lines as anti-Nazi demonstrators pressed against police barricades. The pudgy little Nazi fur paced back and forth behind the fence like a caged hyena. Next to the jackbooted brown shirts of the American Nazi Party from Chicago, the SS Action Group from Detroit, dressed up like a punk motorcycle gang, lamely waved their swastika emblazoned shields. But no one could hear them as a steady din of anti-fascist chants effectively drowned out their death to queers poison. For an hour, the crowd boomed out, "Chicago is a labor town. Chicago is a black town. Chicago is a gay town. Chicago is a Latino town. Chicago is a Jewish town. No room for Nazis." The demonstrators brought out by the June 27th committee took over the public forum area of Lincoln Park, where the fascists had threatened to goose step on Sunday. The protesters were angry and militant, and only the massive police presence stopped them from driving the fascists out. More than 165 uniformed cops were officially on hand, and many scores of plainclothes men circulated in the crowd, ostentatiously supporting their red, white, and blue buttons. 13 protesters were arrested during the afternoon, charged with disorderly conduct, and released. But the crowd would not be provoked into a disastrous confrontation with the Chicago police force. The protesters drowned out the Nazis with spirited chanting for an hour until the Hitler lovers gave up and were ushered out by the police to a thunderous roar of "Nazis out, Nazis out." As the Nazis left, Don Andrews, a spokesman for the committee and member of the Spartacist League Central Committee, declared to the cheering crowd, "We did it! We prevented them from carrying out their provocation. This was a victory for all decent people of Chicago," he said. More than 3,000 demonstrators had rejected the appeal by liberals and the official Gay Pride Parade Committee to ignore the Nazis. Instead, representatives of the labor movement, gays, blacks, Catholics, Jews, Arabs, and others came out to block the fascists' attempt to victimize homosexuals. "Someone had to stop these would-be killers," said Andrews, so the Spartacist League did the simple, decent thing, mobilizing labor and all the sections of the oppressed to defend the rights of gays, blacks, and Jews in the city. The thousands who showed up at Lincoln Park Sunday came in response to the organizing efforts of the June 27th Committee Against the Nazis. More than 75 individuals representing large sectors of the Chicago community endorsed the committee's call to action. More than 250,000 committee leaflets, like the one I just read, continued on page 9. I just went to page 9 and there's a lot more to read. Not only that, there's a lot of other good stuff in this thing. So I'll be back with the next one. Ostentatiously